In the bedroom, I am being manipulated into various positions. A strange man reaches out toward me and fondles my body roughly with his calloused hands. He leans in closer and tells me to relax because it will help release the milk quickly. The man before me is my husband's best friend. He was hired to be my lactation therapist. His hands roam across my waist slowly and pause right at my chest. I can hear him saying in a hoarse voice, "I'm going to start massaging here." I can't help but shudder before closing my eyes tightly. The whole situation was beyond absurd. Thomas and I had just welcomed our first child, a time that was supposed to be filled with nothing but pure bliss. But my struggle to breastfeed quickly turned that dream into a living nightmare. My heart shattered every time I watched our little one wailing from hunger, day after day. It felt like a cruel joke. Despite being a 36E, I felt like a useless ornament. I tried every herbal tea and supplement under the sun, but nothing worked. As I watched the baby getting thinner, Thomas came to me with a suggestion that blew my mind. He wanted to bring in his best friend, Charlie, to help stimulate my supply. His logic? Charlie was a certified consultant and had supposedly helped his own wife through a similar crisis. I froze. My mind was reeling. He was a man, for heaven's sake. He'd be touching my most private areas, but Thomas just shrugged it off, trying to soothe me. "So what if he's a man? It doesn't bother me," he said. Then came the guilt trip that finished me. "Are you really going to just sit there and watch the baby suffer?" Images of Charlie's powerful, muscular arms flashed through my mind, and I found myself involuntarily picturing how he must have handled his own wife. In a moment of sheer desperation, or perhaps something else, I bit my lip and nodded, agreeing to this insane request. When the weekend rolled around, Charlie showed up right on time with his gear. The moment he stepped inside, his intense, lingering gaze settled straight on my chest. I had intentionally worn a low-cut dress, and seeing the veins bulging in his forearms made me swallow hard with nerves. We headed into the bedroom, and the session began. I thought having my husband in the room would make me feel safer, but the second Charlie's hands made contact with my skin, I lost my composure completely. His fingers were searingly hot and firm, pressing upward from my abdomen. That touch woke up a dormant, secret longing deep inside me. A soft, embarrassing moan escaped my lips. Charlie, however, remained stoic, moving with the cold precision of a machine. Even Thomas chimed in from the sidelines. "It's okay. She can handle it. Anything for the baby." With that permission, Charlie grew bolder, his movements becoming more rhythmic as he worked over every inch of my skin. My cheeks were flushing hot, and my heart was hammering so hard I thought it might burst through my ribs. Then, at the most critical moment, Thomas's phone rang. He checked the screen and casually announced he had to head out to grab some baby clothes. Panicked, I tried to stop him, but he just waved me off and walked out. Thud. The bedroom door shut. Suddenly, the room felt far too large, and I was alone with this stranger whose hands were all over me. The atmosphere shifted instantly, turning from clinical to dangerously charged. Charlie stood by the bedside, his dark, intense eyes locked onto mine. His voice dropped to a gravelly rasp. "We're moving on to the deep tissue massage now," he said. "If it hurts, don't hold back. You can let it out." Before I could even process what he said, his heavy, calloused hands pressed firmly against me. I arched my back instinctively, my breathing becoming a jagged mess. Charlie remained expressionless, but his movements were overwhelmingly dominant. Then, he reached over and began to undo the buttons of my dress. I gasped, the air catching in my throat. As the pressure increased, a strange sensation, a mix of discomfort and something far more primal, began to surge through me. He leaned down low, his hot breath fanning across my skin. "Relax," he whispered, "or this won't work." My face burned with shame, but I couldn't stop my mind from racing back to things Thomas had said about Charlie. He'd mentioned that Charlie was a powerhouse, a literal beast in that department. The next thing I knew, Charlie had climbed onto the bed, his weight pressing down on me. A sharp jolt of intensity hit me,